3 billion human lives ended on August 29, 1997. The survivors of the nuclear fire called the war Judgment Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines. The computer which controlled the machines, Skynet, sent 2 Terminators back through time. Their mission, to destroy the leader of the human resistance, John Connor, my son. The first Terminator was programmed to strike at me in the year 1984, before John was born. It failed. The second was set to strike at John himself, when he was still a child. As before, the Resistance was able to send a lone warrior, a protector for John. It was just a question of which one of them would reach him first.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 16 of Contestant Loadouts, the series where I give you fun loadouts to try in the finals. Keep in mind, these loadouts aren't designed to be meta so much as they are to be fun. So save your comments on how dumb this loadout is, cause I really don't care. Today, we'll be traveling back in time to prevent the rise of John Connor's human resistance with a Terminator loadout. This loadout is primarily based on the first 2 Terminator movies, and if you ask me, the only 2 Terminator movies.
I'll be back.
But how do we play as the Terminator in the finals? What loadout do we run, and how can we dress like the Terminator? Let's start creating our contestant to find out. You probably noticed by now that this is another double loadout video, one for the heavy and one for the medium. The medium was the first loadout I created, so we'll start there. Our specialization is the sentry gun. To be honest, I don't know if there were any sentries in any of the Terminator movies, but Skynet does use drones, and the sentry is close enough. The weapon of choice is the Model 1887. Have you seen Terminator 2? If not, what the fuck is wrong with you? But if you have, you've seen the T-800 do that shotgun flip, and there's just way too much bad motherfucker energy in that scene to not replicate it in the finals. Speaking of which, get this skin for the shotgun, and you'll be doing the exact same flip. Our 3 gadgets are all based around terminating things, those 3 being the pyro grenade, frag grenade, and the explosive mines. No reason to explain each one individually as the Terminator uses a variety of explosives throughout the movies. Let's just move on to the heavy loadout. For the heavy Terminator, we'll be using the Charge and Slam for our specialization. The Terminator is a crazy strong robot, so the Charge and Slam fits as a nice specialization. As for the weapon, the heavy class doesn't have any weapons that were in Terminator, or at least not the 2 movies that matter, so I went with the dual deagles as a way to pay tribute to the 2 pistols he uses in the first 2 movies. The gadgets are the C4, RPG, and frag grenades, for pretty much the same reason as the medium gadgets. Onto the fashion, I used head number 5, the brown hair comb over, blazer and lenses for the eyes, the no-tell specs, the soot output facepaint, oversized Dyson jacket, hollow point bandolier, asphalt oath pants, and the black combat boots. I was aiming to replicate the Terminator 2 look, and this comes pretty close. Some other people have posted their own outfits over on Reddit as well, so maybe see if you like one of theirs more. But now that we've gotten our weapons and our sweet biker outfit, let's start learning how to terminate our competition. Welcome T-800 to your Skynet mission briefing. Our main goal with this loadout is getting as many kills as possible. Much like the Scorpion loadout, which you can check out on my Contestant Loadouts playlist, we'll be playing very aggressively to eradicate as many human rebels as possible. Ironically enough though, I probably got the least amount of kills using this loadout, because the matchmaking on the day I recorded the gameplay for this video was not treating me well. It straight up felt like I was a T-800 fighting a bunch of T-1000s. Now this technically being two different loadouts, I'm gonna divvy up the how to play part of this video into two sections, starting with the medium version of this class. We're going to be rushing like a motherfucker. The second you spot some enemies, use your frag grenades and pyro grenades to chip some damage off your enemies, then push in for the kill with your shotgun. Obviously, you gotta be smart about this and not just blind push situations where you're guaranteed to die or take fights that you don't really need to. That's what the heavy version of this loadout is for. But if your teammates aren't around to do a push with you, you'll be glad to know that we have mines and a sentry gun. Set up a sentry and mines near where the enemies are camping, and use your grenades to force them outside while you wait at a cheeky angle near the gadgets you placed and hit them with the. Or, alternatively, you can save your mine and place it on the statue of the person you just killed and hit them with the. The medium version of this loadout is pretty straightforward though. If you're already good with the model 1887, unlike me, then you'll do pretty good with this loadout. Even if the gadget combination isn't the most meta, just capitalize on all that map knowledge you learned from playing as Scorpion to move around fast and undetected. Set up your sentry and mines in spots where they might deal some damage or get a lucky kill for you. Use your pyro and frags to deal some chip damage and finish your enemies off with your shotgun.
I'll be back.
Have you ever had a desire to just say fuck it and just balls to the wall rush the entire enemy team? Well, you're in luck, cause that's what the heavy Terminator is all about. Those of you who have watched both Terminator movies know that the T-800 in the first movie is a lot more aggressive than the one in the second movie, and it's much the same case here. The charge and slam is a perfect specialization for this because you can pretty much start every group fight with an explosive entrance and oftentimes it'll get you a free kill. Pro tip, the higher you slam from, the more damage the slam does. Slamming from high up is a pretty good idea since we'll be using the deagles. Anyone who uses the deagles can tell you that the hip fire is not great. So something I like to do is use the charge and slam to push people off the power positions, then use my newly acquired power position to make the deagles even more effective since they shine at mid-range when you're aiming down sights. As for the explosives we haul around with us as a heavy, these are great ways to secure even more kills. Frag grenades and the RPG don't need a ton of explanation. I think the ways you use them are pretty obvious. See an enemy, throw a frag, or shoot a rocket in their direction. However, the C4 is a gadget we can get really cheeky with. Use it to destroy walls when you don't have a charge available, set traps in spots you're positive the enemies will run over, or my personal favorite way to use it, setting up a C4, waiting for the enemy to run over it, and instead of detonating it like normal, use your RPG to show them the power of the sun. Who said nukes were dead in the finals? But for the most part, even though the hipfire on the deagles isn't the best, I often found myself balls to the wall rushing with the heavy version of the Terminator loadout, and a lot of the time, it worked. Once you get a feel for how to cause chaos without instantly dying as a heavy, it can actually be stupidly effective, especially if you have a teammate nearby taking some of the attention off of you. As for cash out tips, I didn't play this loadout on cash out at all. Maybe I will this upcoming Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, where I'll be playing the Terminator loadout live. But all the gameplay you're seeing is from Power Shift because you can pretty much always be aggressive in that mode. If I had to pick a favorite from the two, I'd say the heavy version of this loadout is a little bit more fun. Not because I suck with the Model 1887 or because I die in like half a second if I don't have 350 health, but because I just like being able to turn off my brain and go full Terminator mode on these rebel scum. And that's the end of your mission brief. Now get in the arena and find John Connor so we can put a stop to his resistance. Trust me, you don't want them to gain any power. They're all light mains who use stun guns, and I don't blame them, cause what else do light mains have going for them these days? But if you would rather fight for the resistance as Sarah Connor instead, switch out the Model 1887 for the AK-47 and wear this outfit. Just know that if you do this, I will terminate you too. But until our inevitable clash in the arena, thank you guys for watching and have a good one.